Hello guys and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself, Charlie. Right, just wanted to react to some breaking news. I say breaking news, I think it came out yesterday that US sprint star Fred Kerley has announced that he is going to be joining the enhanced games. Sorry, I don't know why I struggled to get that out there. The enhanced games next year that are taking place. Now, Kerley, it should be added, is currently, I think, under investigation by the USADA or WADA regarding a missed doping test or whereabouts on a doping test. So that potentially is a factor in it. But I feel like the event in general, this enhanced game, is a really dangerous precedent and is now starting to gain some traction. For those that don't know what it is, it's a sporting event founded by a gentleman, an entrepreneur called Aaron de Souza, who is basically hosting an Olympics or holding an Olympics where he's going to say to athletes that you can take performance enhancing drugs. You are allowed to dope in theory. Now, there is a $1 million cash bonus for anybody, any athlete who can take part and break the existing world record in their sport. I don't actually know. I don't think there's a lot of clarity on how it's going to work because, again, like a lot of these projects, like R360 and rugby I talked about the other day, it seems to be they've gone for these big names, a bit all over the shop, but there doesn't actually appear to be any substance. I don't know how many viewers you'd get to just watch Fred Kerley run 100 metres on his own. I don't think that would sell well. British swimmer Ben Proud, who is an Olympic medalist, he's signed up as well to take part in it. There's other swimmers as well. I know Cole Chalmers in Australia has turned down the opportunity to take part in it. These athletes talk about life-changing amounts of money here on offer to take part in this event. And I feel like in a sporting era now where freak shows upon freak shows are happening, you know, boxing, we've got the Jake Paul fights and the Misfits boxing. We've got football where we've got that many tournaments we don't know what to do with. And we've got the Club World Cup taking place and whatever else. I feel like now in sport it is literally anything goes, but this feels like a really dangerous turning point. I feel like it was inevitable for something like this happened. I remember debating at school in my A-level PE whether athletes should just be allowed to take PEDs, especially when you consider the use of TUEs, therapeutic use exemptions, the idea that you can potentially take a drug because you need it medically. You can prove you need it medically. I know there's a lot of controversy around Team Sky, the cycling for years, surrounding their use of inhalers and what the actual point of those was, why they were so keen, why Chris Froome and Bradley Wiggins and others were all taking these inhalers. I think Simone Biles as well, there was something surrounding her, I think before the Rio Olympics, surrounding something that she was taking and whether that had gone through the TUE system. So the argument is, why not do it? And I know Nate Diaz is a much memed character, but he said it in the UFC, didn't he? They're all on drugs. And I'm lucky enough to read it. I've got a book next to me here. There's a fantastic book I'd recommend to anyone called The Dirtiest Race in History, which is about the 1988 100-metre Olympic final, which Ben Johnson won and was then, of course, found to be on steroids, to be on drugs. But there was all sorts of other talk about the man who eventually got the gold, Carl Lewis, the golden boy of US athletics. Was he on drugs? He'd missed doping tests before. Linford Christie, British hero. He, of course, had his own accusations of doping and had faced a ban surrounding it. Lots of other athletes had faced doping bans in and around that time. So we are now in an era where I think we're A, more aware of drug use in sport, and B, we're more open-minded to these, as I call them, freak show events, but circus-style events taking part. Like I say, there's a $1 million cash bonus if you can break the world record that's been done clean. But what more I think it does, and I don't think this will be an event that goes on for a long time because I think there's just not going to be enough money in it. I can't see it happening unless in that first event you see all these world records smashed. If Fred Kerley goes out there and smashes Usain Bolt's 100-metre record, people will start tuning in. And that's the danger element for me, is if Fred Kerley or Ben Proud or any of these other high-profile athletes, allegedly there's British stars being targeted, I see the Telegraph reporting that, if any of these stars now go out if Fred Kerley goes out and beats Usain Bolt's record by 0.18 of a second, people will start looking and going, how quick can they go? And then you set a really dangerous, I keep using that term, precedent of, to young athletes, well, actually, you're going to be richer and better performing if you take PEDs. And all the talk of hard work getting you to where you need to be goes out the window. But I also think this comes from, as well, sport. I think there's probably a tedious link, but a link nonetheless, with the way sports have dealt with drug use in the past. Like I say, therapeutic use exemptions have been around for years. And there's been a lot of allegations against a lot of different high-profile athletes that the system is being taken advantage of. You've got athletes who are coming back from drug bans who are not really facing any consequences. Boxing, a sport I love, is a prime example of that, of athletes taking steroids, taking drugs, being found guilty and not really facing any punishment. And that's a sport where you've genuinely got someone else's life in your hands, literally. Sport has not taken this problem serious enough for a long time. And now we're in a scenario where actually we've got a games that is encouraging it. So where do you go? You would hope the morality of sports fans would be, I don't want to watch a load of juiced up freaks take part in an event because I know that they're juiced up. But Fred Kerley is, I think he's top 10 of all time 400 and top 10 of all time 100 metres. He's not slow. He's not some C-list athlete who's taken part because he's washed up. He's a very capable sprinter and he's going to take part. And the other thing it talks about is the cash flow. Because his argument would be, I've looked at the financial benefits of this and I would rather take part in games where, yes, I'm going to be a dirty athlete, but I'm potentially going to get a $1 million bonus. I think they get $70,000 just as an appearance fee, which is the same as what you get in Tokyo for winning the gold at the World Athletics Championships. To some, it would be a no-brainer. You know, there's no hiding the fact athletics isn't paying well at the moment. That's why Michael Johnson's come along with Grand Slam track, which is why Seb Coe and the Olympics have looked at awarding bonuses to medal winners and world records. We saw Mondo Duplantis receive that the other night. I'm intrigued as to where this goes. I think we're now in a really dangerous moment in sport in general where you've got stuff like this. We're pushing the barriers of what should be allowed and of what we're actually just letting happen. Should this be allowed? No. I know that there's a lot of arguments. The Enhanced Games have come out and said that there's doctors around to ensure this is safe. For anyone as well, by the way, who is interested in this, I would highly recommend the Netflix documentary Icarus. That is an absolutely unbelievable documentary which sort of exposes the state-sponsored doping that was going on elsewhere. But like I say, it's so... We're on the precipice, I think, of somewhere far more dark, because we're now saying to young athletes, if you go to these Enhanced Games, you're going to get $1 million and you're going to take drugs. And that's the key word here, drugs. PEDs, the D stands for drugs. They're not safe to take. Some would argue, yes, they are, but you only have to look at, you know, the short life expectations of WWE wrestlers, of bodybuilders. If you're putting yourself constantly on a cycle, I think, you know, you're definitely asking for problems, especially if you're running. But like I say, let us know what you guys think. I think it's something that's going under the radar as well. Nobody's really reporting on it. I see Seb Coe the other day refused to talk about it. No, you should be talking about it. You should be talking about it. You should be saying it for what it is, which is wrong morally. And you should be saying, actually, any athlete who goes there, yes, we're going to ban for life, because I think the World Aquatics, so swimming, have already said they're going to do that. That you're banning they're banning coaches and swimmers for life if they take part in it. But, you know, you should say we're going to ban them for life, and if you want to go and watch a freak show, go. But actually, our best athletes, Mondo Duplantis, Faith Kipyegon, Oblique Seville, Letsidi Tobogo, Keely Hodgkinson, whoever else, they're here and they're clean. So watch them, because they're making the sacrifices. But refusing to talk about it is, I think, a really bad move from Lord Coe. Like I say, let us know what you guys think. It's an interesting debate. Like I say, should you just let them take as much as they want? If you want to go and take part in that, let them go do it. Oh, yeah, like I say, I just think we're sending the wrong message. But like I say, let us know what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching as always, and have a great day. Thank you.